So you finally found it, the perfect job description. It is in the industry you've been dreaming about. It is the role that you just know you would be good at. And you can already picture yourself doing this work and you're feeling super excited. So you start scrolling down in the job posting to read the requirements and then you see it. 5 years of industry experience required. So now your heart sinks. You close the tab on the browser and you think, I'll never qualify. I've never worked in this industry before. I don't have what they're looking for. I just can't do it. And just like that, you have talked yourself out of applying before you even tried. Or maybe you're scrolling through job boards and you can't even bring yourself to look at jobs outside your current industry because your brain literally, legit, just cannot see you or see how your skills would transfer to something else. You have been doing the same type of work for so long that you think this is all you can do in your career, even though you desperately want to do something different that excites you again and pays well. Well, if that's you, this video is going to change how you think about industry pivot. Because in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 strategies to successfully pivot into a new industry, even if you have zero experience in that industry. And I'm going to show you exactly how one of my clients used these strategies to go from academia to corporate consultant with a $55,000 salary increase. If you're new here, hi. And if you are a regular viewer, welcome back. Thank you for being back. I am Dr. Tega. I'm a faith based career coach who helps professional women leave draining jobs and land higher paying, more fulfilling careers by helping them clarify their next career move and job search to land that job without burning out. If you want to receive faith insights and career strategies directly into your inbox to help you secure, keep, or thrive in a job that you genuinely love, then you should join the Career Catch Up. The Career Catch Up is my weekly newsletter that is basically a career coach in your pocket. You can find the link to join us in the description of this video below. Now let's get into today's video. So here's what I hear a lot of times for women who want to pivot industries, usually especially when they have already done the clarity work and they know what they want. They'll say something like, when I look at job descriptions, they all say industry experience required or 5 years of blank experience in blank field. And I've never worked in that industry. So how am I supposed to get hired? And I get it. It feels like maybe you're stuck in an impossible catch 22. Like you can't get industry experience without getting hired, but you can't get hired without industry experience. What's a girl supposed to do? But that's not actually how it works. And I'm going to show you exactly how to position yourself as qualified for a new industry, even if you've never worked in it before. Now, quick context. I'm assuming in this video that you have already done the clarity work, meaning you already know what industry you want to pivot into and what specific role you're targeting. If you haven't done that yet, you need to back up and go watch my video on the clear framework because you need to start there, and I'll link that video on this video. But if you are clear on where you're going and you're just stuck on how to get to that destination, then keep watching. So I worked with a client who had just finished her PhD and she wanted to leave academia, and we worked together to clarify her next path, and it was going to be corporate research and consulting. But the main problem for her was that she had zero corporate experience. She had never worked as a consultant before. She had never even worked in the corporate world before. All her jobs had been in higher ed institutions. And so when she came to me, she was really limiting herself. She thought that she had to focus only on data science roles because in her mind, that's what was hot. And she was letting external messages dictate her job search. So she wasn't considering her values or her interests. And most importantly, she didn't even know how to market herself specifically to corporate recruiters because she didn't speak their language. But after working together, she ended up landing a corporate consulting role with a $55,000 salary increase. And she did it by using the 3 strategies that I'm about to teach you. So let's get into those strategies. Strategy number 1 is research the new industry. I know it might sound like a no brainer, but I cannot overstate this. Before you can position yourself as qualified for a new industry, you need to understand what that industry actually cares about. What are the values? What are the priorities? What problems are they trying to solve? What language do they use? And here's the thing that you have to realize, a lot of people skip this step. They think to themselves, I'll just apply to a job and figure it out as I go. But that's how you end up getting rejected, ghosted, and frustrated. You have to do your research first. Now, some places where you can do industry specific research are industry associations. So almost every industry has a professional association. Join them, read their public publications, attend their events, even virtually. You can also look at industry websites and blogs. So, what are the top companies in this industry writing about? What trend are they talking about? You can use on trusty LinkedIn, search for people who have the role that you want in the industry that you want, and go through their profiles. What language are they using to talk about their work? What skills are they highlighting? What are they posting about? And you can also talk to people. This one is huge. Reach out to people who are already in the industry, have informational interviews with them. Ask them questions like, what do you wish you knew before entering this industry? What skills matter the most in this industry? What is the culture like? My client who pivoted to consulting started researching what consulting firms valued. And through our research, we learned that they cared about synthesis, analysis, problem solving, and delivering impactful outcomes. And guess what? She had been doing all of that. Like she'd been doing all of that in her PhD research. She just didn't know how to talk about it in consulting terms yet, which is where I came in as her coach. So don't skip the research, invest time in understanding the industry before you even start applying. Strategy two is learn to speak the industry language. So every industry has its own language, buzzwords, terminology, acronyms, and phrases that the people that work there use. And if you are using language from your old industry, hiring managers will immediately see you as an outsider. You cannot use acronyms or code words from your current industry when you're trying to pivot into a new industry. Your job is to learn the new industry's language and speak it fluently on your resume, in your cover letter, on LinkedIn, and in interviews. So, for example, let's say you are pivoting from education to corporate. Education language might say something like differentiated instruction for diverse learners. Corporate, on the other hand, might sound like tailored training programs for diverse teams. It's the same skill, just in a different language. Another example is say that you are pivoting from nonprofit to tech. Nonprofit language might sound something like managed donor relationships and secured funding. Tech language, on the other hand, might sound something like built strategic partnerships, and drove revenue growth. Again, same skill, different language. Now, this is a hard skill for a lot of people to develop, and it is why my client said having a translator of sorts, which was me, who helped her speak most effectively to recruiters and hiring managers, was one of her biggest breakthrough from our work together. It really makes a difference. When you're pivoting to a new industry, pay attention to how people in that industry talk and mirror that language in your application materials. Now, before I share the third strategy, if you're finding this video helpful so far, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. That way you never miss future videos from me that continue to help you in your career pivot. And it does let the powers that be at YouTube know that this video is worth sharing with more people. Thank you. And keep watching because if you want a complete step-by-step guide to pivoting industries with worksheets and action steps, I created the Peaceful Pivot Guide that walks you through exactly how to make your own career pivot. I'll share a bit more about that resource at the end of this video, but for now, let's talk about strategy number three. Strategy three is position your transferable skills using the industry language. Now, this is where it all comes together. You've done your research, you've learned the language. Now you need to take your skills and translate them into the new industry's terms. Because the truth is that you are more qualified than you think for that job. You just don't know how to talk about your experience in a way that makes sense to the new industry. So, how exactly do you do this? Well, one, look at job descriptions in the new industry and identify the skills they're looking for. Then, two, ask yourself, have I done this work before? Even if it was in a different context or with a different title, have you done the work before? Then three, reframe your experience using the industry's language. So for example, my client had never been a consultant, but she had done research, analysis, and synthesis to create research projects, which is consulting type work, just in an academic context. So instead of saying something like, I was a PhD researcher, that's not helpful. We positioned her as someone who analyzed complex problems, synthesized insights from multiple sources, and delivered strategic recommendations. which is exactly what consultants do. And it worked. My client got hired with a $55,000 salary increase. The key here is using language from the job description to talk about your skills in a way that makes sense for the industry that you want to go into. You have to paint a picture of yourself as someone who can be successful in that new industry for hiring managers. Now, one more thing to mention here, building relationships in the new industry also helps a ton. When you connect with people who are already in that space, they can vouch for you, they can refer you and help you get your foot in the door. But the foundation is definitely still knowing how to even position your skills. Now, you might be thinking, because I have legit had clients say this to me before, but job descriptions say blank industry experience required or 5 years of experience in X. How do I get past that if I've literally never worked in that industry before? What you need to understand is that job descriptions are wish lists for the most part, not requirements. And industry experience doesn't always mean you must have had this exact title in this exact industry. What they really mean is, can you do the work? And here's the key that I want you to take away from this. When you learn to speak the industry language and position your transferable skills correctly, you show them that you can do the work. So let me give you an example because this just happened with a client on a coaching call recently. Let's say the job description says 5 years of training experience required. You might think to yourself, I've never had the title trainer, so I don't qualify. But have you trained new employees? Have you onboarded team members? Have you led workshops or taught courses? Then you have training experience. You just haven't had that specific title. The same thing applies to any other industry experience. If you've done the work, even in a different context, you have the experience. You just need to learn how to talk about it in the new industry's term. So my client that I talked about earlier had zero consultant experience, but she had done the research, the problem solving, the strategic thinking for years. So we just had to reposition those experiences on all her marketing materials in her job search to help her make the pivot, and she was successful. So let's recap the 3 strategies for pivoting into a new industry. Strategy 1, research the new industry. Strategy 2, learn to speak the industry language. And strategy 3, position your transferable skills using the industry language. These 3 strategies will help you go from feeling unqualified to positioning yourself as the right fit, even if you have never worked in that industry before. Now, if you want a comprehensive and practical guide to walk you through your industry pivot with worksheets, research templates, AI prompts, and positioning strategies to help you identify your transferable skills and land a new job in a new field without getting another degree or more training, then I created the Peaceful Pivot Guide just for you. You can get a copy of that guide at pivotwithpeace.com, or you can just click that link in the description below. Again, the link is pivotwithpeace.com. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. That way you never miss future videos that will help you in your career pivot, and it does help this channel grow. Now, once you hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons below, don't click away because guess what? There is another video popping up on the screen right here for you to watch. Go ahead and click that video, watch that video. Let me continue helping you in your career.